Last time. So, hi, I'm David Sutton, and right now I'm here with Jane Shirley, a successful educator who's now moved on to breeding horses. So, to start off, what technologies are common today that didn't exist, when you were 20?
That thing, okay, for starts, and technology that wasn't.
So you're going to stay on the
It's
rail all the way
prevalent
around. When you
today.
get directly across from me, you're going to cut this way.
Okay, microwaves.
And then you're going to go the other way.
I basically grew up with a microwave
There you go. So
oven.
think your bend. Look at me. Here we go.
And in terms of
And then you're going to
kitchen,
go that way. All right.
basically all kitchen appliances, there
Good.
wasn't water in the refrigerator drawer, or door, and the flat top
That's it,
stoves
and you wanna try
that
to
we
think
have these
rhythm.
days were non-existent.
Same page.
And
I know. Poor Winnie.
the favorite color was
Inside
either
leg.
olive green or golden yellow.
That's it.
Pretty pukey, but
All right. And so, with those changes in kitchen technology that you were talking about, how has that changed the way that you cook?
oh, it's far. That's an interesting question because I prefer not to cook by a recipe, and
That's it. Good. More inside bend. Think about bringing your shoulder
I
back
use
more.
a lot of my grandma and great-grandma's recipes, so the contents of it remain the same, but I can't get
Good.
consistencies the same as they were.
Good.
Perhaps if I had a gas stove, that would be easier to use, but I do have electric, and you can't control the heat as much as you can on gas, and I know that both my grandma and great-grandma had gas stoves.
All right. That's very interesting. Something I wouldn't have considered.
Uh-huh.
The difference of how food's
Good.
prepared.
Way better.
What about telephones? Like, what have the changes in telephone technology been like in your lifetime?
I grew up with party lines. Have you ever heard of
Yes,
a
I
party
have.
line? Okay. Have you ever heard of
Are you recording it?
Uh-huh.
I was going to say, Grandma Moses here. So, in your day.
Yeah, Moses. Anyway, the phones were, the
Good.
first phones I
Way better.
remember were those like were on Andy and Mayberry, because I grew up in a smaller town in Indiana, and
Okay. When you get
would
to the center
get
here,
the
walk.
operator on, and there could be 3 or 4 other people
And then
on
we're
your
going to just
same
reverse
line.
this.
And from there we
figure
went
eight,
to
we're going the other
the
way.
skull-breaking
So,
dial
Yeah.
phones
I
that
know,
weighed
it's difficult.
10
in this little
pounds
area.
about.
It's difficult to
And
figure.
yet, even with that phone, I spent most of my, early teenage years just dialing 4 numbers. We didn't have area codes or prefixes or anything like that, and then it gradually grew into, the fact that the more numbers were needed and the phone styles changed, so you couldn't break someone's skull if you
Is
wanted
that the
to.
way you were going?
No, I'm
Okay.
sure the party lines may have been a
Okay.
form of entertainment in their own. But what are some other changes
you're
in
right.
entertainment? Or ways that technology has
Yeah.
changed home entertainment for you in your lifetime.
No, when you do this good, we'll be done.
I was one of the more fortunate because my dad owned a furniture store, and so I was able to have a TV more or less when
That was your fault, Wayne.
TVs
Go ahead, change your day.
came to be.
Good.
Was it a color
Good.
TV?
Oh,
And then
heavens
just think
no.
rhythm
Oh,
and
this is,
breathe.
okay, all right, so
Black and white
Rhythm
with
and
tubes
breathe.
in the
Okay.
back, okay.
And then think specifics
but
where I'm going to be.
When color TV came out,
That's it.
I was,
There you go.
we had one right away. And so
Good.
basically as all of that
Good.
technology changed, my household was on the fast track to getting that. I remember never having alarm systems
Good.
or intercoms within houses and
That's
things
it.
like that.
Think
So all
about when
of
you're
that is
coming
new.
towards me, stay a little bit more
No,
on
when
the
you
rail.
first got the color TV,
just to
was there a
kind
lot
of
of
make a
color
better
programs
point with her,
out
because
there
you're
to
doing
watch,
this
or was
circle
that
really
very
nice, and in this
limited
circle
at
she gives
first?
you all the grief.
It was limited at first.
So you
I
just be
think
more
one of the
specific with your
first
leg.
TV
That's
shows
it. That's
that
better. 'Cause you
became
asked her to arc a little better there, and
color.
that helps.
was
Good.
Lawrence Welk.
Good.
I don't know why that's
Just like
stuck in
that.
my head. I may be wrong, but there were not a lot of color options. However, with as the color TV gained popularity, so did color TV shows.
All right. And what about computers? How? What are some ways
Good.
that
Much better. Much
computer
better.
technology has impacted you?
And think about when she
As
comes
it- as
to
it's
the
developed
center to
in your
go
lifetime.
across. She
As it's
turns real good with her
developed,
front half, but she whips her rear end.
First computer
So think
I
about how
learned
you're
about,
going to think
I
about
believe,
trying
was
to
at
take care
NASA,
of
and
her
it took
whole
up a
body
huge
to make
room,
it nice and
just
straight.
one machine.
There we go. Good.
And
We couldn't ask her that earlier
Other
because she
than
was having such
that,
a snick.
I really
You
had
know?
no computer experience.
Next
I
time
didn't
you
have
get to the
experience with
center,
that one, but I
you
knew
walk.
about it. But I didn't have any experience until I started my profession of teaching. And even then, the school was limited to one, perhaps two for the entire student body. And they were the big honking machines. And then when I became an administrator, I got my own laptop. So that's when I really started to do a lot. But from the start of my career to the time of that laptop was a good 15 years. So
Yeah, and at the start of your career, when you just had the two computers for the entire school, at that point, what did you use the computer for?
I didn't use it for anything. It was used by folks who were hired because they had some computer background. So it was kind of like you hired teachers with the background, then you have the machines, hire teachers with the background, then add some more machines, add some more teachers, and it was just a stair-step process. And the other thing, then, toward the end of my career, my first career, was 2000, early 2000s, and there was a computer or 3 in every classroom, and the problem got to be, though, that school budgets and funding could not keep up with the rapid developments and improvements of technology. So schools were always so far behind the time.
Gee, that was nice. I
And
needed
even
that.
today, as quickly as
Target
they
area.
put
I
out
know.
iPhones and told me
Here
about
I
the
go.
iPhone 4,
Sting.
that just happened so fast. And when you buy a piece of equipment like a computer, it's expected to last, at least while I was working, last a good 10 years. And so we were always playing catch up, and still are today. There are so many school districts that have no computers.
Now, what about medicine and healthcare? Are there any ways that you can think of how the advances in medical technology has been anything you've noticed or affected you?
Oh yes, just a week ago Tuesday, I had an arthroscopic surgery on my left knee, and that was unheard of. Putting metal parts in, virtually unheard of. I remember that my dad had an accident. They were able to put a metal plate in his forearm, but nothing like complete joints. Clamps that they can put in to hold your brain together, things like that, were non-existent.
Now, are there any other changes, any significant changes in technology in your lifetime that you can think of?
Actually, it was supposed to be for 9. I asked her if I could come a little
I can think of one very annoying thing, and that's the 800 calls, or 1-800, and you get a recording, or you call a business and want to talk to a human being, and you get a recording, and you can't for the life of you get to speak to a real person. The recording thinks it knows everything, and that just drives me nuts. It's probably an improvement for the businesses who use it, but it's annoying. And then using the phone for political polling and things like that. And then at the end, I know I'm kind of sounding down on this whole thing, but the, identity theft that's increased. We never had identity theft. It was unheard of until just, maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago, that it became very prevalent. And you folks who are growing up with this technology are intelligent enough to figure out how to hack into someone's information. And I wish there were more. I wish technology was like a small town with a sheriff who could police everything at one time. But there's no army in the world that could keep up with.
No. And you've certainly brought up a lot of the ethical issues of ethical uses of technology, and that's exactly what this course is about, computer ethics. And a couple of the issues that our class has been discussing over the past week are, like you said, about having a sheriff policing. There are some issues of the role of security versus privacy in computer ethics. And one issue, you are an animal lover, and so I'm sure you know about how some people can put chips in pet dogs to track them if they get lost. Now, what do you think about letting is it ethical for parents to be able to put similar chips to track their children? If their children get lost.
No way. I do not see a machine or a pet taking over the privacy of an individual, and I don't care. So.
Now, with cell phones, there are some cell phones which are pay-as-you-go phones. So you might be able to go to Walmart, maybe pay $25, buy this phone, and then buy minutes and just pay with cash. And so it's definitely very convenient for consumers who want to do that. But the problem is that criminals can buy these phones with cash and not have anything, for law enforcement to be able to track them or know who they are. So. What do you think we should do about this? Should people be able to buy pay-as-you-go phones, or should they be outlawed or regulated in some way?
Frankly, I think, the first thing that jumped out was regulating. But on the flip side, you don't know John Q. Criminal. He could look like you. He could look like me. And so I don't see any way other than prohibiting past criminals access when they're released from prison. But then again, you get into human rights issues and the Constitution, and do we throw all that away? Do we throw away what this whole country is built upon? And I know it's worldwide, so when do we start infringing on other countries' constitutions? It's just a snowball effect. And I don't see a way, to control that in an ethical, positive favor, I can't see it happening without stepping on someone's toes or sticking your foot down someone's throat.
All right. Well, thank you for chatting with me and sharing your thoughts and your views about computer technology in your lifetime and current computer ethics. So thank you very much.
You're welcome, David. Thank you.
All right.